I run my fingers along the silvery backs of mugwort leaves as the wolves howl. It's late September, harvest season, and the untamed land at the Wolf Conservation Center in South Salem, New York, is lush with tall perennials, blooming goldenrod, and carpets of diverse ground cover. Hours slip away as I study the unique shapes, textures, and colors of plants like chickweed, violet, mugwort, lobelia, burdock, and mullein, whose hair on their fuzzy leaves, like the cilia in a respiratory system, protect them from harsh and drying winds. The study and practice of herbalism has lifted a veil that stood between me and the natural world. Land that was once just a wash of green is now vivid, animate, and full of wonder for me. As I crouch among the plants, I put a mugwort leaf in my mouth to taste the familiar bitterness of her spear-like leaves. This fierce plant thrives among the wolves, and like Artemis, guards the boundary between the wild and the domesticated. I exchange breath with the plants, grateful for all they have helped me heal. Breathing was a struggle for the first 20 years of my life. Diagnosed with severe asthma at age 2, I learned that my lungs were weak and unpredictable. My inhaler, my lifeline, was with me at all times. If I couldn't find it, I panicked. When my bronchi seized up among friends, I snuck away into bathrooms or dark corners to inhale my life-saving puffs like I was using an illicit drug. I was embarrassed to be so broken. I had a daily dose of pills, weekly shots, monthly visits to a specialist, and frequent home treatments from Mom when I woke up wheezing in the middle of the night. She would turn our bathroom into a steam room, pound my back to break up mucus, and sit with me, both of us exhausted, until I could breathe. Night after night, I fell asleep listening to the soothing sound of her voice saying, "It's okay, honey. You'll get through this." Out of school for weeks, and sometimes months at a time, I grew comfortable being alone. I even enjoyed it. With a piece of paper and pencil, I entered into imaginary worlds where mushroom gnomes and wise old trees melted pain away. We lived in a green duplex in western Massachusetts with 2 beloved dogs, one Newfoundland and one terrier, until I was 12 years old. The Mill River Conservation Area was just beyond our backyard. Wild raspberry bushes surrounded the perimeter of the forest, and at the far end, a narrow doorway between their dense thicket of thorns led to a world of woodland trails, brooks, and mysterious creatures. I wandered into those woods every day I could, listening to the brook and looking for evidence of a mystical world that seemed just beyond my reach. At dusk, I called to the bats living nearby with high-pitched clicks and squeaks as they swooped down and circled above me. Who knows what made me think it would be a good idea to call bats, but I've always had a special place in my heart for liminal realms and misunderstood creatures. In summer, I circled the perimeter of the forest, picking the ripe wild raspberries, and in autumn, I buried myself in the fiery colors of fallen leaves. In this early part of my childhood, I was never lonely because so much of nature was a friend to me. What I didn't know then was that mugwort grew in and around the forest in western Massachusetts. I wouldn't work with this wild, bitter medicine until I was living in Brooklyn, New York, 15 years after a car accident I suffered in high school shattered me. When my spine and neck fractured in the accident, it was as though I was cracked open and trauma I'd been stuffing inside my body subconsciously through my childhood was released all at once. 15 years on, in Brooklyn, where I would discover mugwort for the first time, I still had much healing to do.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.